Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're diving into a tense twist. Lynn looks remorseful, but she keeps circling Mrs. Lan, and an extra document mysteriously appears in the notary stack like someone is trying to trick them again. Will Tu Tieu's mercy turn into regret, or will Yuri's new rules finally protect their peace? If you enjoy the story, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the next episode. The morning after Lynn knelt in the yard and apologised, the house finally smelled like real food again. Not fear, not disinfectant, not paperwork, just rice, vegetables, and the faint warmth of a stove that had been used for something ordinary. Yuri stood at the sink, rinsing a bowl like he was washing off the last few days. Tu Tieu leaned against the counter, watching him with that quiet disbelief people get when life stops attacking for a moment. Mrs. Lan sat at the table, wrapped in a blanket, hands around a warm cup. For the first time in a long time, her shoulders weren't pulled up to her ears. Then she whispered, almost as if the name burned her tongue. Lynn. Tu Tieu's body stiffened instantly. Yuri didn't react fast. He reacted steady. He turned the water off, dried his hands, and walked over slowly, like he didn't want to scare Mrs. Lan back into panic. Mrs. Lan's eyes were wet. "I know she did wrong," she said. "I know she hurt us. But when I close my eyes, I still hear her calling me Mum." Tu Tieu swallowed hard. "Mom, we already showed mercy. I'm not asking to bring her back," Mrs. Lan said quickly, almost pleading. "I'm just worried. She's alone now." Tu Tieu's chest tightened. The hardest thing about being kind was knowing it didn't erase consequences, but it did make you feel them. Yuri pulled a chair and sat beside Tu Tieu, not across from her. "Team, not referee." "Auntie," he said gently, "being worried doesn't mean you're weak. It means you have a heart. But we need rules, or Lynn will find the cracks again." Mrs. Lan looked down, ashamed. "Rules," Yuri nodded. "Kindness with boundaries. That's how this ends." Tu Tieu looked at him, voice low. "What kind of rules?" Yuri didn't hesitate. "No private meetings," he said. "No signing anything without you present. And today, we finish the revocation paperwork completely." Mrs. Lan flinched. "More signing." Tu Tieu reached for her mother's hand. "We'll do it slowly," she promised. "We'll do it together." Yuri added, calm and firm, "We're not doing this because we hate Lynn. We're doing this so Lynn can't touch your life again." Mrs. Lan nodded, small, tired, but accepting. For a few minutes the house went quiet again. Then the phone buzzed. Not Yuri's, Mrs. Lan's. She stared at the screen like it was a ghost. Tu Tieu leaned closer. "Who is it?" Mrs. Lan's lips parted. "It's Lynn." Yuri's eyes sharpened. He didn't grab the phone. He didn't demand. He just said, "Speaker, please." Mrs. Lan's fingers trembled as she tapped the button. Lynn's voice came through, soft, shaky, calculated in its weakness. "Mum, I'm sorry to call, I needed to hear your voice." Mrs. Lan's eyes filled instantly. "Lynn!" Tu Tieu felt her throat close. That single word from her mother was heavy with years. Lynn continued, voice trembling. "I won't come near the house, I promise. I don't know where to go. People look at me like I'm poison." Yuri looked at Tu Tieu, one quick glance as if asking, "Are you okay?" Tu Tieu nodded, barely. Yuri kept his voice gentle, but it carried weight. "Lynn," he said into the room, "if you're calling, it has to be respectful. No guilt, no manipulation." There was a pause, just long enough to reveal Lynn wasn't used to being corrected anymore. Then Lynn whispered, "I'm not manipulating. I'm scared." Tu Tieu finally spoke, quiet but clear. "Lynn, if you need help finding a place, we can give you numbers, but you cannot lean on my mother emotionally anymore." Lynn's breath hitched. "Tu Tieu, I know I don't deserve anything, but your mother, she's the only family I have." Tu Tieu held her voice steady. "And I am her daughter." Silence. Then Lynn's tone changed, tiny, almost invisible. "Mum," she said softly, "I won't bother you. Please don't let them keep hating me. Please tell Tu Tieu I'm grateful." Mrs. Lan wiped her tears. "Lynn, you must live properly now." "I will," Lynn whispered. The call ended. Mrs. Lan stared at the phone, shaking like she'd run a marathon in her heart. Tu Tieu exhaled slowly. "Mum, you can't take these calls alone anymore." Mrs. Lan looked guilty. "I wasn't trying to hide it," Yuri nodded once. "I know. That's why we set rules before she builds new habits." Then Yuri stood. "I'm calling the notary now," he said. "We do the revocation today." By late morning, the house was brighter. Curtains open, table cleared, documents neatly stacked. Yuri had printed everything and arranged it like a checklist, not a trap. Tu Tieu watched him with a strange mix of gratitude and sadness. It wasn't romantic. It was survival. Mrs. Lan sat with Dr. Han's medical note beside her, confirming she was under stress and should not be pressured. Tu Tieu placed a glass of water near her mother's hand. "If you feel dizzy, we stop," she said. Mrs. Lan nodded. Yuri's phone buzzed again. Another call from an unknown number. He didn't answer. Instead, he said quietly, "If it's Lynn again, she can go through her legal contact, not your mother." Tu Tieu's eyes flicked up. "She'll keep trying." Yuri's voice stayed even. "Then we keep our line straight." When the notary confirmed the appointment, early afternoon, Tu Tieu felt her chest loosen slightly. Until the doorbell rang. Tu Tieu froze. Yuri didn't move fast. He moved ready. He opened the door and found Lynn standing outside. No pink vest, no confident smile. Holding a small plastic bag. Fruit. Medicine. A blanket. The classic, "I'm just helping" disguise. Lynn looked up and forced her face into something humble. "I won't come in," she said quickly. I brought a few things for Mum. She gets cold." Yuri's eyes didn't soften. "Leave it at the gate." Lynn flinched. "Hurry, please." "I'm trying to be good." Tu Tieu stepped into view behind Yuri, voice calm. "Lynn, thank you. Put it down and go." Lynn's eyes flicked to Tu Tieu, then past her, toward the living room, toward Mrs. Lan. "Mom," Lynn called softly, like she couldn't help herself. Mrs. Lan rose halfway from her chair, torn. Tu Tieu's hand tightened on the counter. Yuri stepped forward, blocking the doorway fully, his tone still controlled but final. "Lynn," he said. "You don't get to call her like that anymore." Lynn's eyes glistened. "But she's my mum too." Tu Tieu's voice sharpened, not loud but edged. "She's the woman who raised you. But you used that to hurt her." Lynn's breath hitched. I know. That's why I'm here." "No," Yuri cut in. "That's why you leave." Lynn stared at him like she wanted to say something else. Something private. Something poisonous. But Yuri didn't give her the space. He pointed to the gate. "Put it down. Go." Lynn's shoulders sank. She placed the bag down slowly, then looked at Tu Tieu with a trembling expression that could be regret, or could be a performance. "Tu Tieu," she whispered, "please don't regret being kind." Tu Tieu didn't blink. "Don't make me regret it." Lynn turned and walked away, but the air she left behind felt heavier. Mrs. Lan sat down slowly, face pale. I didn't want her to feel abandoned." Tu Tieu swallowed. "Mum, that's exactly how she pulls you back in." Yuri crouched beside Mrs. Lan, voice gentle again. "Auntie, you're allowed to miss her," he said. "But missing her doesn't mean you open the door." Mrs. Lan nodded, ashamed. Tu Tieu looked at Yuri. "She's going to keep circling." Yuri's answer was simple. "Then we finish the paperwork today." The notary arrived right on time. A calm woman, professional, neutral. No drama, no judgment. Just forms, stamps, verification. And somehow, that was scarier than shouting. Because paper didn't care about tears. Mrs. Lan sat at the table with Tu Tieu on one side and Yuri on the other. The sunlight was strong and clear, bright enough that nobody could hide in shadow. The notary spoke slowly. We'll revoke previous authorizations and clarify who has decision-making authority for medical and property matters, she explained. Mrs. Lan, if you feel pressured at any point, we stop. Mrs. Lan nodded, hands trembling. Tu Tieu squeezed her mother's fingers. We're here, she whispered. Yuri didn't speak. He watched the papers like a guard dog watches a gate. The first page was simple: revocation of prior authorization, granting Lynn power to act on Mrs. Lan's behalf. Mrs. Lan signed, slowly, carefully. Tu Tieu exhaled. The second page: appointment of Tu Tieu as the designated family representative for communication and decisions, with medical support requirements noted. Mrs. Lan's eyes filled as she signed that one. Tu Tieu's throat tightened. It felt like being chosen in ink. Yuri glanced at her, just once, as if saying, "This matters." Then the notary moved to the next set of documents, and that's when Yuri's eyes narrowed. "There's an extra page," he said, calm but sharp. The notary blinked. "An extra page?" Yuri tapped the stack. "This wasn't on the list you confirmed earlier." The notary looked confused and flipped through carefully. "This appears to be a withdrawal of complaint statement," she said. Tu Tieu's pulse jumped. "What?" Mrs. Lan looked startled. "I didn't ask for that." Yuri's voice stayed controlled. "We're not signing anything that wasn't requested." The notary nodded quickly. "Of course, we'll remove it." Tu Tieu turned to Yuri, stunned. "How did that get in here?" Yuri didn't accuse without proof. He just said quietly, "Someone tried to slide it in." A cold wave ran through Tu Tieu, not because she didn't expect Lynn to be desperate, because she realized Lynn's new strategy was simple. If she couldn't win emotionally, she'd win legally, through confusion, through exhaustion, through one extra page. Yuri watched the notary remove the page and place it aside, then said calmly, "Please document that an unrequested statement was included and refused." The notary nodded and wrote it down. Tu Tieu's eyes stung. Yuri wasn't just protecting them. He was teaching Tu Tieu how to protect herself without becoming cruel. When the notary finished, she stamped the final pages and stood. "Keep these copies in multiple places," she advised, "and do not sign anything outside this process." Yuri nodded. "We won't." After she left, the house felt quieter, but this time the quiet felt earned. Tu Tieu sank into her chair, exhausted. Mrs. Lan whispered, "I'm sorry. I almost let her back in." Tu Tieu's voice softened. "You didn't, Mom. You signed what mattered." Mrs. Lan's eyes filled again. I keep thinking about the little girl she used to be." Yuri's tone was gentle but grounded. "You can love the girl she used to be," he said, "and still refuse the woman she chose to become." Mrs. Lan nodded slowly, like the sentence settled into her bones. That evening, Tu Tieu and Yuri tried to return to something normal. Not celebration, just breathing. Yuri peeled vegetables at the counter while Tu Tieu rinsed rice, the two of them moving in quiet rhythm, like rebuilding a house one brick at a time. Mrs. Lan dozed in the living room. For a few minutes, it felt like peace. Then someone knocked. Not a hard knock, a small one, like a person asking permission to exist. Yuri set the knife down immediately. Tu Tieu's stomach tightened. Yuri opened the door. Lynn stood there, eyes red, face tired, hands empty this time. No gifts, no props, just Lynn. "I know I'm not supposed to be here," Lynn whispered quickly. I heard there was a notary." Yuri's expression didn't change. "Who told you?" Lynn swallowed. I guessed." Tu Tieu stepped forward, voice calm but cold. "You didn't guess. Someone fed you information." Lynn's eyes flickered. "It doesn't matter." "It does," Yuri said, firm. Lynn's voice shook. "Yuri, please. I'm not here to cause trouble." Tu Tieu stared at her. "Then why are you here?" Lynn's lips trembled. Then she spoke the one line that always worked on Mrs. Lan. "I have nowhere to go." The living room stirred. Mrs. Lan, half awake, sat up. "Lynn?" Her voice cracked. Tu Tieu's chest tightened again. Lynn's eyes filled instantly. She stepped toward Mrs. Lan, but Yuri shifted his body slightly, blocking the path without touching her. "Stop," Yuri said gently. "Not like this." Mrs. Lan looked torn, pain deep in her eyes. "She says she has nowhere." Tu Tieu swallowed hard. "Mum, if she comes in, she'll take your heart again." Lynn shook her head, crying softly. "I won't. I swear. I'll sleep on the floor if I have to. I can't be alone." Tu Tieu's compassion rose like a bruise, because she didn't want Lynn to suffer. She just didn't want Lynn to destroy them again. Yuri turned to Tu Tieu, voice low. "We can help her without opening the door," he said. Then Yuri looked at Lynn. "I'll pay for a short stay at a nearby guest house," he said. "You'll give me the address. You'll keep distance from this house. You'll check in with your legal supervisor. That's the help you get." Lynn stared at him, stunned, because the help had conditions, and conditions were what Lynn hated most. She whispered, bitter through tears, "So you won't even let me stand near her?" Yuri's voice stayed calm. "You lost that privilege when you used her." Lynn's gaze snapped toward Tu Tieu, resentment flashing for half a second before she swallowed it. Then she nodded, small and stiff. "Fine." Tu Tieu stepped forward one pace, voice quiet but clear. "Lynn," she said, "I showed mercy once. Don't force me to learn cruelty." Lynn's eyes shimmered. For a moment she looked like she might apologize again. Then she looked past Tu Tieu toward Yuri, like a reflex she couldn't kill. Yuri didn't meet her gaze. He looked at Tu Tieu instead. Always. Lynn's jaw tightened, and then she turned and walked away with Yuri's instructions, alive, helped, but not invited. Mrs. Lan cried quietly on the couch. Tu Tieu sat beside her and held her hand. Yuri went back to the kitchen and turned the stove on, because tonight stability mattered more than speeches. As the soup warmed, Tu Tieu watched the steam rise and whispered to Yuri. "She tried to slip that extra paper today." Yuri nodded once. "I know." Tu Tieu's voice shook. "So she hasn't changed?" Yuri's answer was steady. "Maybe she hasn't. Maybe she's trying. Either way, our rules don't change." Tu Tieu stared at him. "And if she tries to make me misunderstand you again?" Yuri looked at her, calm and unbreakable. "Then I tell you immediately," he said. "No secrets, no gaps for her to crawl into." Tu Tieu's eyes filled. Not with fear this time, with relief. Because real peace wasn't the absence of Lynn, it was the presence of trust. Yuri handed Tu Tieu a spoon. "Taste," he said. Tu Tieu tasted the broth, nodded. "Good." Yuri's lips curved slightly. "We're getting our life back." And in the living room, Mrs. Lan listened to the quiet kitchen sounds, the kind of sounds families make when they're healing. And for the first time, she didn't whisper Lynn's name. She just breathed. After Lynn's release under investigation, Mrs. Lan still misses her, and Lynn exploits that weakness by calling and showing up with helpful gifts. Tu Tieu and Yuri set strict rules. No private contact, no signatures without witnesses, and a notary visit to revoke every authorization Lynn once controlled. During the signing, Yuri spots a hidden surprise. An unrequested withdraw complaint page slipped into the stack, proving someone is still trying to manipulate the case through paperwork. That night, Lynn returns again, claiming she has nowhere to go, hoping to re-enter the house and Mrs. Lan's heart. Yuri refuses to let her cross the threshold, but offers conditional help, a guest house stay, supervision, and distance. Tu Tieu warns Lynn not to force her kindness into cruelty. Peace remains fragile, but trust holds. For now, Yuri and Tu Tieu rebuild home boundary by boundary,